Ode to Tomatoes is a poem written by Pablo Neruda. Pablo Neruda was born in Parral, Chile. His father opposed his interest in writing and literature, but Neruda was already working as a journalist and writer when he was 16 years old. In 1921, he moved to Santiago to study French at the university there, but he soon began to devote himself to poetry full-time. How did Pablo Neruda impact the world? Neruda's poetry directly influenced a great number of South American writers: Gabriel Garcia Marquez, Julio Cortez. Among them, Neruda won the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1971. This poem is a metamorphical poem that employs tomatoes to reveal the complex relationship between Chile and Spain. His award because of his support to Stalin and his long-standing communist sympathies. Now, the beautiful summary of this poem, Ode to Tomatoes. The poem begins with how tomatoes were in abundance in summer, filling the street of Chile so much so that they were overflowing with tomato juice. This alludes to the bloodbath involved during the war between Chile and Spain. Neruda starts with the season when tomatoes are in abundant supply. They flow over. From the vegetable vendors' stalls and their color, though not mentioned here, instantly attracts attention. When cut, the two tomato halves look like the two hemispheres to which Chile and Spain belong. The only difference being that it is summer in Chile in December, since it belongs to southern hemisphere, and winter in Spain, since it belongs to northern hemisphere. When we read Ode to Tomatoes, it seems that Neruda is expressing more about his heritage rather than the tomato or tomato festival. The tenor used is tomatoes. Again, a number of vehicles convey the message. Tomatoes are first found in the city. The city drowns in tomatoes. The meaning of drowns in the first line of the poem is sufficed by, that is, there is an abundance of tomato. The poem thus carries profound political, social, and cultural connotations. It alternates between pure picture to culinary, diligent, and violence in the kitchen. The end of cutting the tomatoes reads like actual murder. Yet the tomato is an inexhaustible sun, and it beds cheerfully with other vegetables, especially the onion, pictured here as blonde. When cut in rings, it appears that Neruda is here talking about the sexual union between two races, the American Red Indians and the European whites, after the Spanish colonization of Chile. The tomato breaks its bones and invades kitchen, reminding us of another invasion where the American Indians stumbled to an almost silent takeover of their lands and their culture by the Spanish, who came in the wake of Columbus. During winter, tomatoes are said to invade the kitchen, alluding to how Spain invaded Chile. Tomato thus enters the kitchen in all its big majesty, ready to be cooked. Again, the reference to the murder of tomatoes refers to the murder involved with war. The wedding and the union mentioned here contour the melting pot method of America. The salad, in fact, with its tomato, olives and potatoes, refers to the same. Now moving to the conclusion of the poem. The poem concludes on a joyous note, thus painting the picture of Spain and Chile in a domestic setup. Their past differences put behind them, together they coexisted, wherein the tomato represents their completeness without any obstacles such as husk or thorns. The theme of this poem, Ode to Tomatoes. The theme of this poem is diplomatic relationship between nations. Through the progress of the verses, the journey of Chile and Spain from being bitter rivals to learning to accept each other is brought out.